Welcome back, guys. My name is Chris, and I'm bringing you the May edition of NetSuite News. And the first thing I want to talk about is a course I'm going to be releasing next week, which is my Advanced Imports course for NetSuite. In earlier videos, both on YouTube as well as in my administrator's course, I have talked about the subject of imports, but really briefly, just a few videos in my administrator's course talking about some of the procedures and tactics and maybe a few tips and tricks. But now we're coming out with a full-length deep dive course just on the subject of imports, setups, tips and tricks about how to get over commonly encountered issues, what are the various configurations and settings you need to be aware of, how to approach specific types of records and their importing procedures. This is something I get asked about all the time. I'm running into this particular type of import. How do I handle it? So this is going to be covering all of this. And I'm very happy to announce that this course is going to be delivered in partnership with Reed Consulting. I don't know if you've ever been to one of their seminars, but they do them almost every single week and they're fantastic, incredibly informative. So Martin Reed is going to be doing the entire course, really walking through a subject that he knows incredibly well. So I'm very excited to announce that course is coming out next week. We're just finishing up the editing procedure for it right now. And I'd like to pose as a question to you guys what you'd like the next course to be. At this point, I've made over 20 courses, and really we've covered all of the kind of entry level and in some cases intermediate content for NetSuite. And so we're able to start diving into the more advanced content. So we're looking right now at doing an advanced workflows course, advanced save searches, and an advanced accounting course. So for you guys, if you can let me know down in the comments below which of those courses you'd like to see first, and we'll prioritize whatever comes up at the top. Moving on from that is the subject of AI. Now, there's no question in the last 2 years, AI has been blowing up in general, but especially in the last 6 months, there have been such major strides forward in terms of AI's capability and its usefulness in practical applications. And one thing I've really been seeing recently is not just these larger LLMs that everyone's familiar with, but especially in the NetSuite community, we're starting to see more specific apps that are resolving a particular problem. So as an example of that, and this is a video I came out with recently, Ryan Longnecker, who has a consulting agency and he's a bit of a NetSuite celebrity in the community, he came out with a product called SuiteEnrich, which really allows you to take entity records in your NetSuite system. For example, the most common usage would be prospects. If you have, let's say, 100 prospect records in your system, and they only have a limited amount of information for each, such as a name and an email address. So maybe you've gathered this list of prospects from a web form that you have. Well, now what you can do is you can go into those prospects and you can just click a button called the little SuiteEnrich button, and it will basically scrape the internet for any information it can find for that particular individual, whether it's a company or a person. And within seconds, it takes all the information it can find on the internet and populates it into that particular record. Literally dozens and dozens of different lines of information, everything from addresses, phone numbers, emails, what work they've recently had, anything, whether social media, etc., that it can find online, it will bring into that prospect record, which can be incredibly helpful for sales and prospecting applications. Another app I recently came across basically mirrors what a big LLM like ChatGPT or Claude does in terms of allowing you to put in problems or debugs that you're trying to handle in the NetSuite system, and it will give you more tailored responses specifically for NetSuite. So I don't know if you've ever tried to go into these LLMs and ask them questions like, I'm trying to configure this and I'm running into a problem. What do I do? Suite Answers is often a great resource for that, but these LLMs sometimes do a good job, often hallucinate, and generally what I find is you already have to know a great deal about what you're doing for the responses to maybe steer you in the right direction. They're often not a complete solution. They're just pointing you out or giving you some kind of a hint about what you might be able to do to resolve the issue. So this new app, Try Cadbury, basically takes one of these LLMs and provides a layer on top of that to tailor things in specifically for NetSuite. So the answers are far less hallucinatory and much more accurate in terms of kind of honing in on the exact problem. I've actually tested it out with a few different responses, and a back-to-back is actually really impressive. If you see what you normally get from ChatGPT and then what you get from this, again, it's called Cadbury, it's really remarkable kind of how they kind of hone things in on what you should get from a NetSuite standpoint. So I'll probably be coming out with a video on that. I might just throw out some LinkedIn posts because I find it really interesting, especially for administrators, for consultants who are constantly trying to do debugs in the system. It can really be a useful tool. So those are just a couple examples of these remarkable specific tools that are coming out now. Really, I've seen these all populate in the last couple months that are addressing a particular problem as opposed to just trying to handle the entire system with AI, which no doubt that's going to come, certainly with the NetSuite AI connector that has provided a lot of additional functionality, but we don't know when NetSuite Next is going to come out. And in the interim, these more specific niche use cases and these apps that handle them are really, really helpful in my opinion. So definitely keep an eye out for these kinds of apps. And the last thing I want to comment on in this video is the upcoming SuiteWorld event. They have released the official dates. So at this point, it is going to be October 25th through October 28th, 2026. And the reason I'm mentioning it in this particular video is because the early bird registration is about to hit. So in June 9th, they're going to be opening up registration, and that is the perfect opportunity to take advantage of the cheaper tickets. If you pay for them just weeks or maybe a month before SuiteWorld, you're going to be paying thousands and thousands of dollars. But if you get them early, you can save hundreds, if not $1,000 on every single ticket. So if you know you're going to be having potentially a team of people going out to SuiteWorld, you want to take advantage of those early bird tickets. So once again, June 9th, registration will be opening. And that wraps up this NetSuite News video. If you found it helpful, please hit that like button and hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And with all that in mind, I hope to see you in the next video.